Hi everyone, today we will cover chapter 5, writing a business plan. We have 5 learning objectives in this chapter. Firstly, explain the purpose of a business plan. Next, describe who reads a business plan and what they are looking for. Discuss the guidelines to follow to write an effective business plan. Identify and describe a suggested outline of a business plan. And the last one, explain how to effectively present a business plan to potential investor. Alright, as illustrated in this basic model of entrepreneurial process, writing a business plan basically is the last activity complete in the step of entrepreneurial process. So this one we already covered in our previous chapter, chapter 1. Okay, please remember the entrepreneurial process. Okay, founder together with the resource and team, they look for opportunities. The last one is they develop a business project, business plan to offer product, to offer service to customer. Okay, so this is very basic. Plan. Basically, a business plan is a written narrative, typically 25 to 35 pages long, that describe what a new business intends to accomplish and how it intends to accomplish it. For most new ventures, the business plan is a dual purpose, meaning that business plan can be used inside and also outside the firm. Okay, inside the firm, the plan helps the company develop a roadmap to follow to execute its strategies and also plans. Outside the firm means it introduces potential investor and other stakeholder to the business opportunity the firm is pursuing and how it plans to pursue it. The business plan and what they are looking for. There are two primary audience for a firm business plan. First is a firm's employees, and second, investor and other external stakeholder. Okay, for firm's employees, meaning that a clearly written business plan helps employees operate in sync and move forward in a consistent and purposeful manner. The existence of a business plan is particularly useful for the functional department heads of young firm. For example, imagine that you are a newly hired vice president for management information systems for a rapidly growing startup. The availability of a formal business plan that talks about all aspects of the business and the business strategies and goals can help you make sure that what you are doing is consistent with firm's overall directions. And for investor and external stakeholder, what they are looking for, a firm business plan must make the case that the firm is good use of an investor funds or the attentions of others. For writing a business plan, there are several important guidelines that should influence the writing of a business plan. It's very important to remember that a firm business plan is typically the first aspect of a proposed venture that investor will see. If the plan is incomplete or looks sloppy, for example, it's easy for investor to infer that the venture itself is incomplete. It's important to be sensitive to the structure content and style of a business plan before sending it to investor or anyone else who may involve with the new firm. Okay, and for structure of the business plan, it can be said to make the best impressions, a business plan should follow a conventional structure, such as we will cover next slide. Although some entrepreneurs want to demonstrate creativity in everything they do, for example, departing from the basic structure of a conventional business plan format is usually a mistake. Typically, investors are very busy people and wants a plan where they can easily find critical information. If an investor has to hunt for something because it is unusual place or just isn't there, he or she might simply give up and move to the next plan. Okay, so many software packages are available that employ an interactive, menu-driven approach to assist in the writing a business plan. So some of these programs are very helpful, but entrepreneurs should avoid a boilerplate plan that looks as though it came from a canned source. The software package may be helpful in providing structure and saving time, but the information in the plan should still be tailored to the individual business. Some business hire consultants or they hire outside advisor to write their business plan. Although there is nothing wrong with the getting advice or making sure that a plan looks professional as possible, a consultant or outside advisor shouldn't be the primary author of the plan. So along with facts and figure, a business plan needs to project a sense of anticipation and excitement about the possibilities that surrounds a new venture. A task best accomplished by those who are created the business. Guidelines for writing a business plan. The business plan should give clear and concise information on all entrepreneurial aspects of the proposed new venture. It must be long enough to provide sufficient information and also to maintain reader interest. For most plans, 25 to 35 pages are sufficient. Supporting documents such as resumes of the founding entrepreneur can be appear in appendix. After a business plan is complete, it should be reviewed for spelling, grammar, and to make sure that no critical information has been omitted. There are many stories about business plans sent to investors that left out important information, such as significance of industry trends, how much money the company need, and how the money was going to be used. Okay, we have several types of business plan. There are three types, which are shown in next slide. There are three types of business plan. Firstly, summary plan. So what is summary plan? A summary business plan is 10 to 50 pages and work best for companies that are very early in their development and are not conduct the analysis needed to write a full plan. Summary business plan are also used by very experienced entrepreneurs who may be thinking about new venture but don't want to take the time to write a full business plan. For example, if the entrepreneur thinking about starting a new business, he might write a summary business plan and send it to a selected investor to get feedback on his ideas. Most investors know about the several business plan and they will evaluate. And the second is full business plan. A full business plan is typically 25 to 35 pages long. This type of plan spells out a company operations and plans in much more detail compared to summary business plan, and it is a format that is usually used to prepare a business plan for investor. And the last types of business plan we call as operational business plan. So some established business will write an operational business plan which is intended primarily for an internal audience. An operational business plan is a blueprint for company operations, commonly running between 40 and 100 pages in length. Okay, so this plan can obviously features a great amount of detail that provide guidelines to operational manager. A final guideline for writing a business plan is to recognize that the plan will usually change as it's being written and as the business evolves. New insights invariably emerge when entrepreneurs immerse themselves in writing the plan and start receiving feedback from others. This process continues throughout the life of company, and it behooves entrepreneurs to maintain alert and open to new insights and ideas. Okay? Because business plan usually change while being written. There is an emerging school of thought that opposes the ideas of writing a business plan and advocates experimentation and try and error learning through customer feedback over formal planning. Outline of business plan. A suggested outline of business plan is shown on the next several slides. Most business plans do not include all the elements introduced in the sample plan. We include them here for the purpose of completeness. So each entrepreneur must decide which elements to include in his or her plan. For the first sections of the plan, include cover page and table of contents. So the cover page should include the company name, address and phone number, the date, the contact information for the lead entrepreneur, and the company website address, social media if it has one. So the company Facebook or any company social media names can also be included. The contact information should include an email address, a smartphone number, and anything that very important. So this information should be centered at the top of the page because the cover letter and the business plan could get separated. It is wise to include information alerting the reader to the confidential nature of the plan. If the company already has a distinctive trademark, it should be placed somewhere near the center of the page. A table of content should follow the cover letter. It should list the sections and page number of the business plan and appendix. For executive summary is a short overview of the entire business plan. It provides a busy reader with everything she needs to know about the new venture distinctive nature. As mentioned earlier, in many instances, an investor will first ask for a copy of a firm's PowerPoint deck or executive summary, and we request a copy of the full business plan only if the PowerPoint or executive summary is sufficient convincing. So, when requested, the executive summary becomes the most important sections of the business plan. The most critical point to remember when writing executive summary is that it's not an introduction to the business plan. Instead, it means to be summary of the plan itself. Okay? An executive summary again shouldn't exceed 2 single space page. The cleanest format for executive summary is to provide an overview of the business plan. Analysis. The main body of the business plan begins by describing the industry in which the firm intends to compete. This description should include data, should include information about various characteristics of the industry such as size, growth rate, sales projection. So it's important to focus strictly on the business industry and not its industry and target market simultaneously. Before a business select a target market, it should have a good grasp of its industry, including where its industry promising areas are and its point of vulnerability. Okay, industry structure basically it refers to how concentrated an industry is or how fragmented an industry is. Fragmented industry are more receptive to new entrants than industries that are dominated by a handful of large firms. You should also provide your reader a feel for the nature of the participants in your industry. Issues such as whether the major participants in the industry are innovative or conservative and are quick or slow to react to environmental changes are the types of characteristics to convey. You want your reader to visualize how your firm will fit in or see the gap that your firm will fit. The key success factor in industry are also important to know and convey. Before business select a target market, it should have a good grasp of its industry. Again, including where its promising areas are and where its points of vulnerability are. So the industry that a company participates in largely defines the playing field that a firm will participate in. Section in business plan is company description. This section begins with a general description of the company that include company descriptions, company story, mission statement, product and service, current status, legal status and ownership, and also key partnership. Okay, when we talk about mission statement, a mission statement defines why company exists and what it aspires to become. Okay, if carefully written and used properly, a mission statement can be defined the path a company takes, act as a financial and moral compass and serve as an anchor around which decisions are made. So some business also include a tagline in their business plan. So what is a tagline? Okay, in general, a tagline is a phrase that business plan to use to reinforce its position in the marketplace. Okay, and for section 4 in business plan is market analysis. The market analysis is different from the industry analysis that we discussed earlier. The industry analysis focus on the industry in which a firm intends to compete. For example, toy industry, food industry, fitness center industry, men clothing industry. But the market analysis breaks the industry into segments and zeroes in on the specific segment or target market to which the firm will try to appeal. So item to include in this section is market segmentation, buyer behavior, and also competitor analysis. So what is market segmentation? Which is the process of dividing the market into distinct segments. Market can be segmented in many ways, such as geography. Geography meaning city, state or country. Alright, and demographic variable, for example, age, gender, income, etc. Psychographic variable based on personality, lifestyle, values, and so on. So sometimes a first segment is market based on more than one dimension in order to drill down to a specific segment that the firm thinks is uniquely capable of serving. For example, in each marketplace, there are a lot of segmentation that we can do. Okay, what is next is competitor analysis. Competitor analysis is detailed analysis of a firm competitor. Please select 3 to 5 competitors and try to highlight the importance and what is your USP, unique selling point of your product or service. Then is marketing plan. So marketing plan focus on how business will market and sell its product or service. Item to include in this section: overall marketing strategy, product, price, promotion, and also distribution, sales process or sales cycle, sales tactics. Okay, so the marketing plan focus on how the business will market and sell its product or service. It deals with the nuts and bolts of a marketing term, price, promotion, distribution, and sale. Okay, and it's important to discuss the company sales process. 7 is design and development plan. If you are looking completely new product or service, you need to include section in your business plan that focus on the status of your development efforts. Item to include in this section is development status and tasks, challenge and risk, projected development costs, and also proprietary issues like patents, trademark, copyright, license, brand name, and so on. Okay, so many promising startups never get off the ground because their product development effort stall or the actual development of the product or service turns out to be more difficult than thought. In short, these are very important sections for business developing a completely new product or service. Operations plan. The operation plan sections of the business plan outlines how your business will be run and how your product or service will be produced. You have to strike a careful balance between describing this topic and providing too much detail. So your reader will want an overall sense of how the business will be run, but they generally will not be looking for detailed explanations. As a result, it's best to keep this section short, okay, and clear. Items to include in this section, of course, general approach to operations, business locations, facilities, and equipment. Management team and company structure. So many investors and others who read business plan look first at the executive summary and then go directly to the management team section to assess the strength of the people starting the firm. Investors read more business plan with interesting ideas and exciting market that they are able to finance. As a result, it's often not the idea or market that wins funding among competing plans, but the perception that one management team is better prepared to execute its idea than the others. So the management team of a new firm typically consists of the founder and handful of key management personnel. A brief profile of each member of the management team should be provided. Starting with the firm's founder or founder, each profile should include the following items: management team, board of director, board advisor, and also company structure. Okay, for board director is a panel of individual elected by corporation shareholder to oversee the management of the firm. Okay, a board of advisor is a panel expert asked by firm management to provide counsel and advice on ongoing basis. Okay, unlike a board director, a board advisor possesses no legal responsibility for the firm and give non-binding advice. So many startups ask people who have specific skill or expertise to serve on the board of advisor. For example, if a firm starts by two web designers and doesn't have anyone on staff with marketing expertise, the firm might place one or two people on its board or its board of advisor with marketing expertise to provide guidance and also advice. Other than that is organizational chart or company structure. Organizational chart is representations of how authority and responsibility are distributed within the company. The organizational chart should be presented in graphical format if possible. Schedule should be prepared that shows the major events required to launch a business. So the schedule should be in the format of milestone critical to the business success, such as incorporating the new venture, completing prototypes, rental of facilities, obtaining critical financing, starting the productions of operations, obtain the first sale, and so on. An effective repair and presented schedule can be extremely valuable in convincing potential investors that the management team is aware of what needs to take place to launch the venture and has a plan in place to get there. Okay, example of milestone incorporating the venture, completions of prototypes, rental of facilities, obtaining critical financing, starting productions, obtaining the first sale. Okay, for financial projections, the final sections of business plan present a firm pro forma of projected financial projections. Item to include in this section is source and use of fund statement, assumption sheet, pro forma income statement, pro forma balance sheet, pro forma cash flow, and also ratio analysis. Plan to investor. Okay, when asked to meet with investor, a founder of a new venture should prepare a set of PowerPoint slides that will time slot allow for the presentation portion of the meeting. The same format apply to most business plan. Okay, the first rule in making an oral presentation is to follow instructions. If an investor tells the entrepreneur that he or she has 1 hour and that 1 hour will consist of 20-minute presentation and 40-minute questions and answer period, the presentation should last more than 20 minutes. The presentation should be smooth and well rehearsed. The slides should be sharp and not cluttered with material. The entrepreneur should arrive at the appointment on time and be well prepared. If any equipment is needed, the entrepreneur should be prepared to supply the equipment if the investor doesn't have it. So this arrangement should be made prior to the meeting. So the presentation should consist of plain talk and should avoid technical jargon. So startup entrepreneur may mistakenly spend too much time talking about the technology that will go into a new product or service and not enough time talking about the business itself. The most important issues to cover in the presentation and how to present them basically in next sections. Okay, there are formal 12 slides, very formal in order to do oral presentation. Questions and feedback to expert from investor. Whether in the initial meeting or subsequent occasions, an entrepreneur will be asked a host of questions by potential investor. So the smart entrepreneur has a solid idea of what to expect and is prepared for these queries because investors often come across as being very critical. It's easy for entrepreneurs to become discouraged, particularly if the investors seem to be poking holes in every aspect of the business plan. Okay, so again, in the first meeting, investor must focus whether the real opportunity exists and whether the management team has the experience and skill to pull off the venture. So the investor will also try to sense whether the manager are highly confident in their own venture. The question and answer period is actually very important. And the entrepreneur must be well prepared. 12 PowerPoint slides to include in an investor presentation. First slide, cover title slide. Next, problem, solution, opportunity and target market, technology use, competitions, marketing and sales, management team, financial projections, current status, financing, and also summary. That's all for chapter 5. Thank you for listening and take care.